Hello and hello. Thank you for joining me today. How you doing? I thought this looked like a gem. 5 small things we love about Germany. American family in Germany. So this is perfect, in my opinion, because I already know the major things, okay? I want more obscure things. I think those are the more interesting things anyway. No, the little things. So go check out Onward MJ. Link down below. Pretty low-key channel. I mean, 2,000 subscribers. Why don't you get him to 2,000 subscribers if possible? Is it possible? I think it is. Let's see. I'm interested. I believe he's got a lot more videos about Germany and stuff. So, yeah, go check him out.
Hey guys, MJ back again. And today I want to talk about 5 small things that we love about Germany. Now, there are a lot of major reasons we love Germany. There's a lot of big things we like about being here in Germany. We made a video about 5 of the reasons that we came to Germany to begin with, and I'll link that video up here and down below. But today I really want to focus on 5 small things that you either see or that happen on a regular basis that just make life here a little more pleasant. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Perfect.
5 reasons that we love being in Germany that are on the small side of things. So the first one I want to talk about is when you say goodbye in German. So this is something that we encounter on a regular basis, both with our in-person interactions as well as on the telephone when we're making a phone call with somebody in Germany, is the way you say goodbye. Now, there are a lot of different German words for goodbye, but the one you hear the most often when you're leaving somewhere or when you're getting off the telephone is tschüss. Okay? Now, that by itself is like, okay, tschüss, bye.
Tschüss.
That's fine. However, what we noticed is that most of the time it's said with a much different tone than you would have expected from the German people who are thought of as being kind of a little bit more uptight or a little bit more reserved.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I would imagine it's like, tschüss.
And this happens all the time.
There's nothing wrong with
Doesn't
that.
matter if it's somebody who's older, somebody who's younger. Doesn't matter if it's a man, a woman. Doesn't matter. What we found that happens often is that the way you say tschüss in German is more of a higher pitched, friendlier tone. So you can be getting off the phone call and, it's a nice business phone call and blah, blah, blah. We're coming to your house to fix this thing, such and such a time. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Somehow that almost sounded like a threat. We're coming to your house. Tschüss.
Tschüssi. And it's this,
Tschüssi.
you raise the pitch of your voice, you add on the little tschüssi, and it's such a friendly, nice way to say it. And when we first started hearing it, it was like, what? It was surprising, but it was so pleasant. It was like tschüssi, and then over and over again we hear it in the same kind of way. It's again that you raise your voice a little bit.
It kind of sounds like cheers, like the British. Cheers, tschüssi. I never heard that.
And you put a smile on this time, and tschüssi. It's wonderful. I absolutely love it. When my friends say it to me when we're leaving somewhere, when I hang up the phone, it doesn't matter. I'm calling the kids' school, oh, so-and-so is not coming to school today. They're not feeling well.
That is a very small thing, but somehow I understand, it's the little things.
Okay, I wrote it down. Tschüssi. Love it. Absolutely love it. So that was one of the small things that I absolutely love about Germany. The second one I want to talk about is Matschhose. Now, Matschhose are mud pants, and these are pants that are specifically designed for children to be worn over your clothes. Now, in the States, we have snow pants for the winter and everything like that, and that's fine. But I've not ever seen mud pants designed for the warmer weather for when your kids go out and play, and I've absolutely fallen in love with them.
Interesting. They don't overheat?
Our youngest is in kindergarten, and she has her Matschhose. And so when she goes to school, she has her Matschhose and her rain boots. When she's inside, takes them off. She's wearing her house shoe, her house shoes, her slippers in the
Wait, they wear these like pants to cover their legs on the way to school even? Not just when they're playing outside, but just walking outside?
Kindergarten.
During the rain?
And she's wearing her regular clothes in the kindergarten. But when it's time to go outside and play, all the kids put their machos on, put their jackets on, put their rain boots on. They go
It's like a jacket for your pants.
out in the playground and they play and they get dirty and they run around in the dirt. If it's muddy, that's fine. It doesn't matter because they have their mud pants on, their machos on. I've absolutely fallen in love with this. Their clothes stay clean underneath. They can get out there, get dirty. No one's worried about.
Why does this make so much sense? And yet I've never thought about it. I never considered that. Yeah, that's not a thing.
Dirty clothes and stained, ripped clothes.
It's kind of funny because as a dad, sometimes I kind of feel like, because my son, of course, kids don't care. They don't care. They don't even know. They don't care that it's wet and muddy outside. They're just like, Dad, I want to go play outside. And I kind of feel like a loser when I'm like, sometimes I'll be like, okay, let's do it. Let's get your clothes all messy, whatever. But sometimes I'm like, oh, it's too wet outside. It's really nasty out there. We got to wait for it to dry up. And I kind of feel like a loser when I say that. So I need these freaking machi pants.
Because you're protected by these machos. And it's a
Machosa.
small thing, but I absolutely love them. And I'm so glad Germany has them. And I have no idea why we don't have them.
I'm looking them up right now. Tell me someone sells them here in America. Mud pants for toddlers. So are they like this? Like overall style? It's kind of cool. Okay, I found out how to spell it. I think. Okay, yeah, so they are like an overall type deal. It's kind of genius. Oh, and some of them are like cinched at the bottom to protect it, to make it kind of like sealed up. Oh, that's smart. It's very smart. And they're like a rubbery type material. This is very smart. Yes. They look cool too. I'm about to get me some machos. I seriously will be buying that for my son.
And it's a small thing, but I absolutely love them. And I'm so glad Germany has them. And I have no idea why we don't have them in the States. I can't tell you how many times my kids came home from school, dirty clothes, ripped holes in the pants and things like that. Machos would have saved all of that. Probably would have saved us a lot of money in the long term too. So
They pay for themselves.
absolutely love machos. Next up on the list is the...
And then you just wash the machosa, right? Which, I guess depending on the material they're made out of, you might just rinse them off.
German concept of frische Luft, fresh air. It's very, very
Of course.
common in Germany to air out your apartment on a daily basis.
I'll let them talk maybe for a minute, but of course I know about it.
Regardless of what the temperature is. So you have great German windows that open multiple ways. They tilt down, they open all the way up. Lots of different ways. I should probably do a whole nother video about German windows and why they are so much better than
You should. That would be a banger video.
American windows. We'll get to that one day. But for now, the concept of the fresh air and airing out your apartment. When we first got here, I was like, okay, cool, fresh air. And we got here in the summer, so we need to open the windows anyway to get some cool air in. But I've fallen in love with the concept of frische Luft. And it is amazing just to open your windows and just let that air in, air out the apartment. You feel like you're being refreshed. You feel like, oh, the air is getting cleaned out. And I didn't realize how much I missed that, or I didn't realize how much I needed that until I started doing it like the Germans do.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things where once you do it, you go back to not doing it. You'd probably feel like I'd be sitting here like, it's kind of muggy, kind of stale in here. We need some fresh air up in this bee. And then I'd freaking go to the American window. It'd probably break. It's never been opened.
Right, every day I'm just opening the window.
Slight exaggeration, but also, no, it's only slight.
For a little bit, letting that air in, getting the stale air out. And
the thing about America with air conditioning, like honestly, opening a window as a kid, it's like, that's, your parents tell you, don't open a window. Don't open the window. That's inefficient, as far as the insulation in the house, you're letting cold air out. We're paying for this cold air. You can't be opening a window and letting that shit out, okay? And same when it's hot air too, You're paying for the hot air too. So whether it's hot or cold, you're paying for your your house to, be that way, and you can't just open a window and let that out. It's like leaving your fridge open, And that's how it's viewed. So yeah, nobody does that
Is great. It's refreshing. It's
unless they don't have AC, but that's very rare.
cleansing. It's wonderful. Now, we'll say this. In the colder temperatures, I believe the Germans still do it. We don't do it as often as they do it when it's cold outside. I don't mind that cold air coming in. Again, it gives me energy. It wakes me up. I feel great. But
cold
the wife and
plunge.
kids don't like the cold air quite as much
But
as
you kind of need to do it somewhat, right, to prevent mold and stuff, to actually get the air circulating.
I do. So we tend to keep the windows closed a little more often in the winter than maybe the Germans would. However, I still like cracking that window open, getting that fresh air in, getting the old air out, and just going about your day. It is great. It is such a cool concept that is simple, but really, really wonderful. And another small
It's honestly kind of incompatible with America, though, because of what I said, like with the AC. Unless you want to pay out the butt for AC. I mean, I guess you could turn the AC off. But then... I mean, I guess it depends where you live in America as well. America's a giant country. There's a lot of different weather. Some parts of America get hot as hell, like here in Indiana. It'll get up to 40 degrees Celsius here in Indiana. I don't want to open the window in that. God. You can't let that precious cold air out.
thing I love about being here in Germany. Now, the next one on the list, at first, I wasn't so sure if I liked it or not. And this was the greeting everybody in a waiting room. So let me give you an example. If I go to a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment, I check in at the desk and I'm sitting down in the waiting room. Somebody else comes in and I notice that they greeted me, Guten Tag, or Hallo, or Guten Morgen, depending on what time of day
Wait, this is shocking.
it was or how polite they were being, things like that. And I was like, looking around like, me? Like, we don't know each other. Why are you talking to me? And then I learned and I realized after time, being at different appointments for the kids or for, for myself, whatever it was, that it's just common. It's a normal thing here.
Well, first of all, I love that. But somehow, I mean, that very much sounds like an American thing, doesn't it? But ironically, we don't do that here in America. We say hello and stuff randomly if you pass someone on the street. But for some reason, like walking into a waiting room, you don't do that. You just don't typically. I guess you could. You could. If someone looks up at you, you're walking into a waiting room, yeah, you can say hello to them. There's no problem. But it's not a common thing at all. And yet, it is in Germany where I've heard so many times, you don't want to make small talk with the cashier at the supermarket, for example. But in a waiting room, you guys say hello to each other. I love that. But it's also surprising.
That when you walk into a waiting room, if there's people already there, you greet them. You say Guten Tag, you say Hallo, you say Guten Morgen, whatever it is. And it's just a polite way of greeting people and acknowledging that there's other people there when you're coming into the room. And the same thing when they left, is that they would check out with the people working at the office.
And it's interesting. We're just not, I don't think that we're as different as some people try to make it seem. You know what I mean? Because that's exactly the same rationale for why here in America, especially in like a small town, you say hello to someone as you're walking by. Then again, I think you do that in German small towns as well.
And then they would grab their stuff and then they would turn to whoever's still left in the waiting room and they'd say, Tschüss, or Tschüssi, or Schönen Tag, or whatever it was. And they would, again, this polite greeting when they come in, the polite acknowledgement when they leave. And at first it was strange for me. It was like, we don't know each other. We're at an office, we're not meeting together at a restaurant. Like, why are we talking to each other? And in the States, you just kind of sit there with your phone and you look down, you don't talk to anybody.
Yeah, it's antisocial.
But here, there's always just this
the world is too antisocial now.
Acknowledgement of, hey, you're here, I'm here, Guten Tag, hello, whatever it was. There's not long conversations, we're not making small talk. I know German small talk is not a big thing anyway, but It's just this cool little greeting out of respect and to be polite. And again, at first I was like, don't talk to me. But now I've gotten used to it and I'm like, okay, this is nice. It's just a nice, polite thing to do when you come to a space that there's already people there. So the greeting coming into offices and waiting rooms, Again, another small thing.
I think we need more of that in this world these days, especially now that we've got these dumbass smartphones where everybody is just like antisocial, staring at their own little personal screen in their own little world all day, every day. I think we need to go back like horse and buggies, open air transport. I remember hearing about how when cars were first invented, like they were protested because they were seen as antisocial. You've got like when they started putting windows up and stuff. It's like, what are you doing? You're being antisocial. You're being weird. And now we've gone so much further down that path of just everybody's in their own little world, especially here in America where the car culture is extremely, that's like the only option for getting around is a car, and for the most part.
We love about being
Anyway.
here. Next up on the list is the behavior of the dogs. Now, this was a total shock to me to see how well
Haven't heard this.
behaved the German dogs are.
That makes sense.
When we're
There's nothing that pisses me off more. Sorry. There is nothing. Well, okay, there's a few things that piss me off more, like Donald Trump. But then a bad dog owner, especially when my kids are there, and especially if it's a breed of dog that's like, can be violent or dangerous. And you've got a bad dog owner, it pisses me off. And it happens. It happens, unfortunately, here in America.
out and about, when we're walking along the street, you watch people with their dogs, and there's dogs everywhere here in Leipzig. There's so many dogs, little dogs, big dogs, doesn't matter. They're everywhere, and it's awesome. But they're so well behaved. It's so interesting to see that someone could be walking their dog, even without a leash, and the dog is just right with them, staying with them the whole time, not running away, not disobeying, just with them and just walking together. And you can pass right by the dog and they don't even look at you. They don't smell you. They ignore you. And you're like, hey, I'm here too. Say hello to me. But they're not in a German waiting room. They're just dogs, and they're trained well here to the point where they're just ignoring everybody. They're listening to their owner and they're just going about their business. And
that's actually kind of interesting how the dogs, because of the way they're trained differently in America and Germany, it's kind of indicative of like the culture. Like that just sounds like it's like the dogs are German. They have German culture because they're trained by Germans. It's interesting.
That's it. And it's so cool to see, like, even when there's other dogs around, most of the time.
Whereas American dogs, for better or worse, you don't know what you're going to get, which can be fine. If you want to interact with a dog and it's a friendly dog and it's, you walk by and it's, it's fine if that's what you want. But when you don't want it, it's annoying. And when it's a badly trained dog where it looks potentially violent, it's terrible.
They just ignore each other. And that's a strange thing. It's unique to what I've seen here, is that the dogs are often trained to ignore not only people, but to ignore other dogs.
Wow.
I know in the States with dogs, it's really common to socialize your dog, to get your dog to meet other dogs and play nice with other dogs. But here it seems they train them most of the time.
Yeah, that's actually fascinating because it's the dog culture. I'm not big into dog culture here in America, but I know that dog culture here in America is like, if you're walking with your dog and you pass by another dog, the owners will stop and let their dogs meet each other, sniff each other, sniff each other's butts, see what's going on. That's how it is. That really is how it is. And they meet each other, and then it's like, okay, they met each other. Bye. So it's not like that at all in Germany. It's the opposite. I didn't even know dogs could be trained to not, acknowledge another dog. Because here in America, that's so, it looks so innate in them. That's all they do is want to go check out other dogs.
Ignore the other dogs. And so there can be multiple dogs walking around off leash, and they're ignoring each other, and they're not chasing, they're not running around, they're not being crazy. They're just walking with their owner and ignoring everybody else and just going about their day. And it's so nice to see how well behaved they are. And I don't think I could be a dog owner here because
That's incredible.
I don't think I could train my dog as well as the Germans do. So
that's impressive.
Another thing I love is just, the dogs are just out there enjoying life and not bothering anybody and listening so well trained, and it's great to see. And in addition to that, the owners tend to clean up really well after their dogs. Not everywhere, not all the time, but it does seem to be, with especially with the amount of dogs.
I mean, that's how it is here in America. You definitely, people know they should pick up their poop, and most do. That doesn't stop the one rogue jerk from, not doing it.
Dogs that I see around here, there is not a lot of mess from dogs left all over the place. We're not stepping in poop all over the place. There's other European cities we've been in where that kind of is the case, where there's just dog poop left everywhere. I'm not going to name names of certain cities.
Name names.
But you might know them. So
I don't know.
I really love that the dogs are well behaved and the owners are well behaved, and they do take care of their dogs and they clean up after the dogs as well. So again, another small thing we love about being here. So once again, I have a bonus small thing that I love.
Oh,
this was
bonus.
5 small things we love about Germany. Well, here's number 6 as a slight bonus. I don't drive very often here. I don't want to drive here. That's why I live in a European city. It's why I came to a city that has great public transportation. But
Wow, what a reason to move all the way to Europe. That's it. I mean, that's a good reason. It's a good reason because, goddamn, yeah, driving is a lot of anxiety associated with driving and having to drive everywhere here in America. I don't think Americans really even realize how much anxiety goes along with having to drive everywhere. And like I was saying, it's antisocial.
we do drive occasionally. We rent a van to go visit some friends or pick some things up or whatever it is. And so driving around Germany, it's been fun. I enjoy it. I did record a little video on the Autobahn and some etiquette on the Autobahn.
You got to do that.
But the small thing that I love, the bonus small thing that I love, has to do with driving. When you get to a red light here in Germany, and you're waiting at the red light, normal red light, okay?
Okay.
But before the light turns green, it actually goes from red to yellow to green. It gives you this little heads up, like,
That's interesting because even as from like a young age, I always wondered why it didn't do that. You know, like of course, when it's going from green to red, it goes, green, yellow, red. Gives you a warning, slow down. Now, why doesn't it do it the other way? And the conclusion I came to, I remember thinking about this like when I was like 15. I was like, well, if it went the other way, people would abuse it. Which now that I didn't know that about Germany, that it does go the other way. I guess let me hear him finish talking, then I'll say what I think.
okay, it's about to turn green. Most of the cars here are manual transmissions, and many of them, when you're in neutral and you let your foot off the clutch, the engine stops. And so that little notification that you get by the light turning yellow before it turns green gives you that heads up, like, okay, it's about to turn green. Step on the clutch. The car starts again, get in the first gear, and you're ready to go. It's that little kind of like that racing heads up that, hey, it's time to get ready to go. And I love it. It's just a small thing that I'm like, okay, this is cool. So when I drive
That is cool.
around here, it's like, all right, I'm sitting at the light, I'm relaxing, and then it turns yellow. Oh, got to pay attention now. Let's go. And so that's the.
And what I mean, let me finish my thought, was just that the conclusion I came to, I can't believe I remember this, but it was a long time ago. I was like, people would abuse it. Like, people would just go through it, If it was going from red to yellow, I know, knowing a lot, how Americans drive, that a lot of Americans would just drive right through. Red, yellow, they'd see it turn yellow, they're just going to go through. Close enough, And like, oh, yeah, it's yellow, so therefore their light is probably red. It probably coincides with their light turning red. Because as it is right now, the light turns red, then there's a delay, like a 3-second delay, and then the green light comes on, as it should be, to allow the intersection to clear, make sure it's safe. And of course, it would not be safe if it just instantly, went red, green. Because then you'd get, intersections aren't perfect. They're not clear instantly always. You need an intersection to be clear instantly always. Or you need it to be clear when it turns green. Or else it's very dangerous. You could have a semi-truck see it turn green and go blazing through, and then someone, is still clearing the intersection, they get hit. That would happen way more often, obviously. And so what I'm saying is, here in America, I think that would happen more often. So that's amazing to hear that in Germany, and it makes sense because you guys are much better at following the protocol. You're just better at it. It's in your culture. You just follow the protocol better. You don't go when it turns yellow. You just get ready to go.
Bonus small thing that I love about Germany is the way the lights go from red to yellow to green to give you that extra heads up. All right, so that's it for today. Those were 5 plus a bonus small things that we love about Germany. There's so many other things. There's so many big things, and we'll talk about more of them.
Now, of course, the trick is that you can look at the other lights in the intersection and look, see what they're doing. You know, they turn yellow, then red. You see it turns red. You know your red light's about to turn green. So that's how I'm always looking. Then I see, oh, it's turned red. I can get ready to go. You know.
Markets and the transportation and the type of windows there are. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Germany is amazing. There's so many great countries out there, and we're just happy to be in one that we love. And there's so many things that we love about it. So we'll continue making videos about different things we love. We'll make videos when we're out and about in the city as the weather's getting nicer and as corona restrictions are going down and there's more to do. We'll continue making more videos to show you our city, to show you life here for Americans in Germany. So stay tuned for that.
Hell yeah. I really enjoyed this guy. There's a great video. There's a great list. I really like his positivity. Great video. Those were some obscure things that I hadn't heard about. So hell yeah. Go check them out. Link down below. And thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.